This is a Glass Box Media podcast.
Welcome to My Worst Date. I'm Cassie.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Christina.
Okay, so I feel like I need to talk to you about this because personally, I feel like I deserve compensation for this having happened to me. So I think I've talked about it on the podcast before that Anthony talks in his sleep. Like he talks in his sleep, he yells in his sleep. He has like night terrors and screams in his sleep and stuff. A very scary way to be woken up, right?
Yeah.
And last night, I'm a very light sleeper, and I heard him get up to use the restroom or something, I think, and then it came back. He got back in bed, fell asleep. I fell asleep. We're sleeping, and then I hear him go, "Keegan," and I said, "Yes."
No.
He said, "Are you awake?" And I said, "Yes." And so I rolled over, and he said, "There's something in our house."
No.
And
no.
I said,
bye.
I said, "What?" And he said, "There's something in our house."
No.
And I said,
Is that why we haven't seen
what's in our house? And I said, "Is it a person?" And he said, "Yes, it's a person is in our house." And I was like, and I'm not super easily rattled, but I was like, okay. I shook him awake, and I was like, "Are you sleeping?" And he was like, "Yes." What the fuck? You do not wake me up at 3 a.m. to tell me there's something in our house. And he said it just like that. He's like, "There's something in our house."
No.
And I was like,
no.
My fucking God.
No,
we moved.
I heard a quote recently that I really resonated with me because I'm a yell at the screen person.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
100% of the time.
Chris is too.
Yeah.
It's the quote, and I hope I'm getting it right, was it's unfair to assume that people know what genre of movie they're in.
Yeah.
Oh.
True?
Yeah.
Because look,
I will be nosy and go check things out.
Yeah.
I'm the person you're screaming at in the show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know I'm in a horror movie.
See, my problem is less not knowing what genre you're in, because I watch so much horror that when he said that to me, I was immediately, I was like, I'm in a horror movie.
Yeah, Eli Roth wrote this dream.
But my problem is not knowing which genre I'm in. My problem is that I have hardcore main character syndrome, and I'm like, no matter what happens, I'm getting out of this situation, right? Where in reality, you are one of 8 billion people on the planet. The chances that you are going to be like Tom Cruise running through War of the Worlds, just shit blowing up around you, and you're
carrying
fine,
a child.
You know what I mean? Are very slim. That's my toxic trait.
I'm not a survivor.
I'm going to survive this horror movie because I am the main character.
Dude,
that's right.
The smallest inconvenience will happen to me nowadays, and I'm like, that's it. I'm calling everything off. Everything. Life is canceled from now on because something dumb.
Just can't.
Just I can't find something.
Yeah.
Something just.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and it's always when you're walking out the door and
your sweater gets.
Girl,
it will only happen when you're at wit's end.
I spilled coffee on myself when I got into my car. I was juggling everything to get into my car to go to work, and just tipped the coffee over on my pants, and it was just game fucking over. And the day just started, and I was like, well, I should just go back upstairs and go back to bed. We're
100.
Done.
It's just ruined.
Normalize that.
No, you're so right. That goddamn sweater thing, I knew exactly. I feel that. I feel that energy inside of my bones.
Dude, so when you woke him up, did he remember anything about a dream or
he
anything?
Went right back to sleep. And I was like, I'm going to just put a pin in that for now. Did I go back to sleep?
Nope.
Not really.
No.
Not a restful night for me. But then the next morning I was like, do you remember what you said to me in the middle of the night? And he was just like, oh yeah, I had a dream that our house was haunted. And I was like, what the fuck, dude?
Well, I have something for you. Speaking of main character energy or battling against, the horror of being in the horror genre that we live in now. Because let's be real.
This movie is horror.
This movie, 2023. Well, since 2020, it's a horror movie.
Yeah.
So,
yes, it certainly is.
Here's the latest thing. You know how I feel about AI.
Uh-oh.
Are you ready for this? Keegan, your face is going to explode.
You fucking know how I feel about AI. I'm very skeptical.
A group claiming to be disenfranchised ex-Tinder employees gone rogue has built an app that uses AI chatbots to talk to women for men on dating apps.
Good luck.
In an effort to combat the disadvantages the average man faces.
Fuck yourself in the strongest possible terms. No.
So now, not only as a woman, when you're swipey swipes, you may be talking to ChatGPT or whatever this fucking app is.
I hope I am.
Of just canceling life. I'm fucking done. Look, I can't do it. We talk about this, I constantly oscillate between, I've got 2 speeds and it's wanting to be out there with everybody, talking it up or wanting to live in the middle of nowhere with a cow. And that is kind of how I feel about this.
How do you see this playing out for you? If you're using
this fucking computer Cyrano de Bergerac or whatever the fucking that guy's name
Roxanne
is.
And you.
All of a sudden, you're in love with how communicative and open this person is.
And then you're like, who the fuck is this guy?
I am on fire right now. Nothing has made me want to be a swamp witch more than this. I want to live alone in a moss covered cabin.
Girl, I am so with you.
Enough. I can't handle I am really sorry for Gen Alpha, especially Gen Z is but Gen Alpha, the next generation coming up, the hurdles that they're gonna have to deal with as they enter into,
because we've all given up. We're just God damn.
I mean, as they enter into the dating scene, this is hellish that this kind of thing exists. It's why I'm freaked out about AI, period.
This is why we have a podcast right here.
I mean, honestly, I know it is difficult. It does not come easy to match with a stranger who's just pictures on your phone screen and then come up with something to say. I don't disparage how difficult that is at all as somebody that did it. It's awkward. You're basically trying to reach out and make a connection with a stranger. But I can't imagine that goes over well when you finally do meet in person. Right. It's kind of the same to me as using fake pictures or doctored up pictures online, because now you have a fake personality too.
That to me is worse. Yeah. You faking your all persona? The things that I've that have penetrated into me.
And I guarantee you're not good enough looking to counteract.
Because the thing is, look, looks attract you initially, right? And they are important. Being attracted to someone physically is important.
But it don't keep you.
That's not what keeps you. And that's not ultimately what gives you the warm fuzzies. What gives you the warm fuzzies are all those conversations you've had, those late night talks, those things you've connected on, those deep things that you've told another person.
Yeah.
Those are the things that give you those warm, cuddly, I think I'm falling in love feelings. Yeah. And to have someone lie to you about those things is to me 100 times worse than lying about what you look like. And lying about what you look like is bad. We've said that always.
But this is even more. You're toying with people's emotions.
Really,
big time.
Fucked up. So, and for it to be some kind of bullshit misogynistic fucking reason, the poor men, go
they just
fuck
can't
yourself.
compete.
So they download the app, and then the AI algorithm swipes on girls that are just your type and constantly works to get high quality matches. Then the chatbot,
tell me what that means, and don't be misogynistic about it.
Until they agree to go on a date.
Until they agree.
And arrange a time and place to meet. So for $15 a month, users can expect several dates a week by doing absolutely nothing. They just download the app.
Good for you.
I want them to explain what high quality means.
The lowest of bars.
Oh my God.
I am disgusted.
The way I can't stop thinking about that home on the edge of the, Cape, where we make apothecary items.
Oh yeah, we're gonna practical magic it up. Like I'm done.
I want a cellar for cheeses.
Yeah,
and
cheese
salamis.
and wine. We just have a ton of wine.
Jarred things.
Yes. Yeah, we can. We're gonna can
of course we're
stuff.
gonna can things. Like, I can't, but you
this
can.
This is the thing. You know what I mean? Is like they're constantly like, why
soaps.
don't women like us? This is why.
This is why.
Like this is why. Like
I would be furious. Well, first of all, you're going to show up on the date after having zero conversation with that person, literally,
and I know nothing about me.
Yeah. And meanwhile, you've hounded me because the app won't stop until you agree to go on a date. So how much time have I wasted talking to a fucking robot?
Yep.
I'm so mad.
I knew this was get you.
Oh, I can't handle it.
The end times.
Yeah. I don't love it.
Last stage, final stage.
I think
I really do. We were talking about this with our last double date, Elizabeth, and we were talking about like, I really do think that people are starting to go away from like apps for finding people.
Right.
And like going to like meet people in real life. I think we got sick of sitting at home. I think people are starting to meet in real life. I'm hearing a lot more of those stories.
When you hear this kind of thing, it's not even necessarily about being sick of being at home. It's about being like, I need to know that you are who you fucking say you are.
Right.
I'm going to meet you at a bar because like you can't trust stuff that's online anymore.
Mm-mm. No, you can't. From deep fake technology to chatbots to all of these things. It's like, it's really killing dating apps. Yeah. Like the amount of times that I have to tell my mom, like, this is a scam. This is a scam. And it's
not a real person.
It's overrun now by scams and bots.
Truly. And think about like, because your mom's over 60.
Right.
Imagine being over 60 right now trying to date. There's not, how many people are actually real on those apps?
Yeah.
For somebody that age.
Exactly.
Almost no one.
I gotta say, like I spend way too much time on my phone. So like, that's something that I need to work on. But like the older I get, the more I'm just like, social media is so bad. It's so bad for me. And I know it's bad for me.
Right.
Like I know it's not doing me
TikTok.
any favors, which we're apparently
we just talked about. Like neither
they're banning it because it makes us happy. And I'm like, do you know what happened when they
suck all
the
joy out?
Bread and circus away from the peasants? They will revolt.
Yes.
So leave fucking TikTok name out your goddamn mouth.
That's right. It's true. It's true. We have so few things that bring us joy.
Eggs are $7. Let me look at fucking Pedro Pascal thirst traps.
God,
thank you.
Can we please talk about how I feel like such an old person, but I'm like, every time I go to the grocery store, I'm like, oh, what am I going to spend? Like, even if I'm buying some higher ticket items, I'm like, oh, I'll still get out of here spending like $50. Like fucking
Honey,
like $85.
What are you talking about? Get out of the grocery store with less than $80
like,
these days. Not
what
once.
happened? Like, I don't not big grocery shopping either. I mean, just like going in and being like, oh, I just have to pick up a few like essential
items.
I want like a couple items and a bottle of wine, and then like they're like, that'll be $80. I'm like, what? What?
Yeah, what?
Because eggs.
You're
really
like, I didn't
are,
even get
$8.
eggs.
Yeah, exactly. God damn it.
It's dark times for vegetarians. I gotta tell you, I eat so many eggs.
Yeah,
I love eggs.
Me too.
From my head down to my legs.
Okay.
All right.
So with that in mind, I have an idea for an FMK. Famous robots.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Do you know what I mean? Famous movie robots.
Yes, I
have
know.
like fucking Fassbender and Prometheus.
Okay.
Or the dude face in Alien. That
Bishop.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've got a bunch of aliens. Technically Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator.
Terminator is an alien, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So famous robots.
Oh, robots, yeah.
2001 Space Oddity.
Definitely not how.
Yeah.
Oh God, definitely not how.
Oh God.
You know who I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of the lady robot from Flubber, the one that was in love with
Flubber.
With Robin Williams. Do you remember her?
When is the last time you thought about that movie?
Never seen it.
I saw that movie in theaters, first of all. But it's God. What was her name? Her name was.
Oh my God.
Weebo.
Are replicants?
Replicants, yeah.
Yeah, that would count.
Weebo.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
She was in love with Robin Williams, and she did that creepy thing where
Wally.
she like made a hologram of herself so she could make out with him. We cannot fuck Wally.
No.
No, but we might marry him because he's a treasure.
He's a sweetie pie.
I know, but
Optimus
I don't wanna
Prime,
Oh man.
R2D2, C3PO. There's lots of them.
Ooh, is Data?
Yeah.
Data.
Isn't he?
He is a robot. He's an android.
Data.
Okay.
Data.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
We'll put
I
him
really
on.
wanted a replicant in there.
Oh, well, yeah.
So I was
Which
thinking
one?
of Sean Young or Harrison Ford. I want to go Harrison Ford.
Oh, wait. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, spoiler alert.
If you haven't seen Blade Runner,
The original Blade Runner
I
from
don't know
like
what to
circa
tell you.
19.
what's his character's name again?
Oh shit.
Wait,
Hold on, I
we've
can
done
look it
him
up.
before, though, when we did Harrison Ford characters.
Yeah, let's do Sean Young.
There's
Okay.
also, what's his name who has that amazing monologue?
Like Tears in the Rain.
Oh my god, what the hell's his name?
It starts with an R.
Yes.
Rutger.
Rutger Hauer.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
And kind of hot in a very
Yeah.
Nordic way.
Yes. T1000. Isn't that, what's his face? Not Jean-Claude Van Damme, but
I don't know.
he's the bad guy. You're like, oh.
On what?
The one who could he ran like
Yes.
scissor arms.
Oh my god,
yeah,
yes.
blade arms.
Yes, that's Terminator 2. Who was that?
Yeah.
T2.
T2. He was like, and he turned into like metal and shit.
Yeah, he was like melting metal. It looked like mercury.
Judgment Day. Who was that? Beep, boop,
That
boop.
movie is so good.
Oh, I mean, I had John
Terminator
Connor.
2, so
Are
good.
you kidding? Edward Furlong was my absolute. You're talking about T1000, Robert Patrick.
Robert
Patrick.
Patrick. I feel like that's a good.
That's a good one.
Okay.
All right.
Wow.
Okay. Wow.
So
You've got
we gotta get used to dating the robots, I guess. So we'll fuck, marry, kill 'em.
Oh, wow.
I'm not. I'm just going to dissolve into moss.
get-
I can't do this.
Get ready for the sex bots are
I
next.
think I know what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I think.
Wow, you made a decision so
I
quickly.
did because I think, okay, so we got Rutger Hauer, we have Data, and we have
T1000. Yeah.
I am going to marry Data. I think you have to marry
you
Data.
have to.
Yeah.
TNG, like
I mean-
Android, and he's just searching to understand.
Yes.
He's constantly
this for him.
learning.
I love
He's
it.
there for his friends.
I'm into it.
Now, we start to get into what I love about the show is like, can he feel feelings? Can he love you? And I feel like he is close enough.
Didn't he have like a romantic story?
Yes, he
line?
did.
Yeah,
He did.
with somebody, and that was little me loved that. I gotta tell you, I loved an emotionally repressed man who was like starting to feel feelings. I was like, oh, incredible.
That set me up for a lot of failures
really
later
did.
in life.
It fucked
You're
me
like,
up.
it can't. Hey, if Data can feel feelings,
It fucked me up in many ways. I was like, I
And
can.
this bass player can.
Well, exactly. It really was the epitome of like, I can fix him.
Yes.
And like he was programmed to not feel things, and she fixed him. So I can fix him.
I can
and
fix
him.
I can do it.
wow, you guys are really,
fucked us up
yeah.
No.
in a big way.
But I'm still marrying him. I'm still marrying
Yeah.
Data. I think it's the right choice. Plus, we get to be friends with Riker.
the
and,
right
you know,
choice.
I mean, come on, it's the right choice.
Yeah.
I am going to fuck.
I feel like there's only one
Oh
choice
man,
to me.
neither of them are good options. I'm going to be honest.
I think one is
I think one's much better than the other.
One of them has a little bit of an eat the rich
One
sensibility.
is a vigilante.
Yeah.
That's right. And the other one's a cop.
You're right. I
I'm so sorry.
am. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
But
Let's
that's
be
just the truth of it. I mean, part
Listen,
of me,
you're right.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
When
so
you're
his
right,
name is Batty in the show in Blade Runner.
Yes.
Rutger Hauer, and part of me wants to marry him because I'm just like, we could have an underground
I
fucking.
kind of was thinking that too.
Yes, I'm like a resistance movement.
Yes.
I'm with you. Like fuck those
fighter.
people.
But I also know I'm kind of lazy.
I am also
and
lazy,
I do like some of the TNG amenities
Yeah.
in
Comfort.
life. It seems
I think
easier.
It is.
I think it's funny because I'm like, which world do I want to live in?
Yes.
Right now, because I'm putting myself into the world.
You don't want to
Yes.
live in Blade Runner world. I don't think.
It's definitely the most appealing to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, you
Oh.
love
Dark,
that noir,
rainy.
dark.
Yeah.
It's pretty, but I feel like the
Lots of
next
places to
generation
hide.
world is way more comfy.
Yeah.
And you have the holodeck, let's be honest. So I'm sticking to Dana.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm going to fuck him. I'm going to fuck
It's a good
Rutger
idea.
Hauer.
Yeah, I mean, actually, yes.
Yeah.
He's tall.
You said, but what's a cop? I was just thinking of all the things he could turn into.
I mean,
I mean, yeah.
Valid.
You're not
honestly.
wrong, but
know.
still.
Like you can sneak. And here's the other thing. I would say like you could fuck him. So we're talking about T1000. Like you could fuck him and then just like never call him again.
Right.
But like that guy will chase you fucking down.
That guy.
and he's
true.
fast.
He's very fast.
And I don't
You're not
want
gonna
to.
survive.
I don't want to get involved.
The blade
running, the actual blade running,
The literal
that
blade
he
running.
does.
Yeah.
T1000 does. I can't risk it. Honestly, it's bad for my health.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to kill him. I mean, as tempting as it is to marry,
you could not ghost him because he could
No.
literally come back from the future. Like he knows where you end up.
He will find you. He will melt into
I
a
will
puddle of
find
mercury
you.
on the ground and come under your door. Like he will get you.
Yeah, no.
And I simply cannot. We all know that like obsession is my like, and that man has proven
let's
himself
be honest,
to be
as the main
obsessed.
character of this movie,
Yeah.
he will be obsessed with
He
me.
will be.
How will he
He
not?
will stop at nothing.
I mean,
and I simply can't handle it.
yeah.
So I have to kill him. Just get that off the table right away.
Yeah.
I'm really torn between which one I want to marry.
It's hard because we know the right answer. At least I think Data is the safe choice. He is the safe choice.
Data is the most like Chris, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Hot.
exciting and
Yes,
hot.
I would make a
and-
bad decision. I really think that if you put me in the middle of these two men like a puppy dog,
You know how
where I
depressed
was
you got?
being like-
It has been raining in Los Angeles for the past 2 months, and you want to go to the dark, rainy
I'm not
place?
gonna see sunlight in space either. It's dark on that ship.
Holodeck and the bright lights. I mean, you might
That's
as well.
true.
And you get to see
that
the
holodeck
strange new
is
worlds.
really cool.
All right.
Actually,
You
that's
did.
a great
You did sell me.
amenity.
There's travel involved.
Yeah.
All right.
Strange new worlds.
Okay. I
Yeah.
can have whatever I want to eat immediately in that little machine thing that like just
what's
makes
it,
food.
the
That bar
replicator
looks
or
great.
whatever?
Yeah.
That bar looks great.
And
Let's be
yeah, I get
honest.
to interact with all different kinds of people.
Whoopi
too.
Goldberg's there.
Yeah, Whoopi's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jean-Luc
Beverly.
Picard.
Jean-Luc.
Okay, all right, sold. I will marry Data and I will fuck Batty for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am absolutely the same. And it does come down to environment because
Yes.
I do think that Data will bore me after a while. I can
Me
see myself
too.
getting very frustrated
Me too.
with how nice he is.
But your environment will keep you.
We'd have better friends.
You might be able to program some sass into him, though.
I would
Be
love
like,
that.
Data, open up here, and then just like push the sarcasm level up a little
Yeah,
bit.
'cause I
Just
need-
put a
I
little
need-
asshole in him.
I need a little passion.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing is like Batty has passion. You can say whatever you want about Rutger Hauer's character, but like he's passionate and he has real emotions and real feelings and a great monologue. So part of me is like, ooh, I would, but you're absolutely right, Cassie. Like the rain makes
you
me
couldn't live in that
so
environment.
fucking mad.
I could live in that environment.
I could not.
I'm the closest of the people who could live in
Yeah,
that environment.
I can't.
In fact, I'm going to use the holodeck to create that rainy space.
yeah,
do
so they
not.
can visit. Yeah.
That's right.
It does look damp. It also looks dirty.
Oh, it's
it also
filthy.
looks like people are really stacked up on top of each other in a way
Yeah,
that like
it's
I wouldn't want to live
I
in.
love a city.
So yeah, I would get claustrophobic on the ship, but at least there's more to do.
Yeah.
And we get to get off sometimes.
And like I said, I like the people that are on
Yeah.
the ship. People are coming and going. You can make friends. You
Yeah,
know,
they got beverages, they got card games, they're
Yeah.
doing stuff.
they are. They
Yeah.
do something. There's a bar there.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being on a cruise long term.
True. Yeah.
I did not sell that. Sorry.
I mean, just
You're like, wait.
yeah, but I feel okay.
Space cruise.
I feel like we all made the right decision.
Yes, this was
Yeah.
a good choice.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow. Well, you guys want to take 5 and we'll come back with stories?
Yeah.
And we're back. All right, Cass. Kick us off with stories.
All right. So this story starts out, I've been pretty lucky, but my friend Sarah, not so much.
Oh,
Oh, poor Sarah.
Our junior year of college, there was this cute graduate student named Cody who managed a bar we frequent. Cody and Sarah flirted back and forth for a while, but it wasn't anything serious until one day she gets a text message from a random number asking her out on a date. She asks, "Who is this?" And sure as shit, it's fucking Cody.
Oh.
I have to say, and this might be apologies to any Codys listening. Every Cody I've ever met, shady.
I only know one Cody, and he's a sweet little dove.
Is he?
Yes.
Okay, he's a
It's
sweet angel. I've known a handful of Codys.
I just know a dog.
Most very sketch.
Aw.
There's a dog named Cody.
Yeah, keep it as a dog name. No.
Oh,
She must have given him her number one night at the bar. Sarah isn't exactly the relationship type, so she's trying to play it cool, but we all know she's super nervous and excited.
Aw.
So date night rolls around. We're all getting ready to go out, and she's freaking out a little bit. He picks her up, and they drive off. 15 minutes later...
Oh, no.
15 minutes?
We get a text from her. Oh, my God. It's not him.
Oh, no. Oh, no. No.
Oh, who's with Sarah?
Sure enough, Sarah had gotten real drunk one
Stop
night
it.
at the bar and had apparently given her number to some 30-year-old Army recruiter who was trying to get drunk college kids to join the Marines.
No.
Oh, no. She got straight up kidnapped.
Got
She got kidnapped.
Oh, my God. And whose name just so happens to be Cody. And she had zero recollection.
What are the chances?
Oh, my
She
God.
had zero recollection. So she was forced to sip margaritas with this man and pretend like she remembered him for 3 hours.
Bitch.
no.
Why?
you
3 hours
imagine?
is too long. Finish
You're
that
just like,
margarita and be like, I don't feel good. Can you take me home?
Of course I remember
done.
you, 30-year-old recruiter Cody.
No.
Who I have nothing in common with.
And she's a sophomore in high school. So what is she, like 19?
college.
Or,
College,
sorry,
college,
I meant college.
yeah.
But 19.
Still.
Junior year of
19.
college.
Oh, junior. So yeah,
Still.
20.
21.
Yeah. Oh, my God. But so she said, and we're never allowed to talk about it again.
Wow.
She's like, we don't discuss this.
No one
this
bring
did
this up.
not happen.
We don't talk about fake Cody.
Fake Cody. We don't talk about fake Cody.
Can you
I
imagine?
can't believe they both have the same name.
It's weird.
I don't think I've never met a human Cody,
I
let
told you,
alone
I only know
2 of
one.
them.
You know, I also feel like maybe Cody from Sister Wives has ruined it for a lot of people.
Oh,
There's a couple of Codys that there is one Cody I knew in real life who was a real piece of shit, and then there's Sister Wives Cody, and I think maybe he might be
killed it for
clouding
you.
my view of
Yeah.
all Codys. So
Yeah.
apologies.
You're like, fuck a Cody.
Seriously. Okay. A bit of backstory for your benefit. I have been dating this woman for a couple of months. We knew each other in high school, but hadn't seen each other in years. We were reintroduced via Facebook, began talking again, and realized we were both single and both revealed secret crushes on the other from back in our high school
Cute.
days.
Okay.
Now, I should tell you, this woman is absolutely beautiful.
Of course.
Traffic stopping beautiful. She's 6 feet tall, just a really beautiful woman. It's sounding like a Hallmark commercial, right?
Yes.
So fast forward to about 2 months into dating. She came to visit me but couldn't stay overnight because she had to work the next day. We spent all day on the beach. It was a beautiful day. We went back to my house, showered and changed, and I made dinner reservations at a really good local sushi place. We had about 2 hours to kill, so we just kind of vegged out on the couch watching TV. She went into the kitchen and asked me if I wanted a beer. I'm thinking, how great is this woman?
You're like, yeah, I hit the jackpot.
I figured cold beer before dinner would be nice. So I said yes. She came back with 2, 1 for each of us. I'm drinking mine at a leisurely pace, just sipping. Well, she's pounding it like a frat boy.
Why?
Oh.
She gets up, gets another beer, drinks that one in the same manner.
Why? I mean, I know you're 6 foot, so like, you know, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
But no. But also no. But also don't do that.
Rather than draw this part of the story out longer, she drinks 6 to my 1 while killing time before dinner.
Whoa.
My first thought is, don't you have to drive home after dinner? And then I'm thinking, if you're smashed, why am I going to take you out for an expensive dinner?
True.
That's right.
Honestly, true.
You should just DoorDash at that point. Really.
Exactly.
We're staying in.
Yeah, we're staying in.
I don't feel like sushi anymore.
Yeah.
Definitely not after 6 beers.
Yeah.
Oh, gross. Honest, that sounds disgusting. Like on like a beer stomach,
stomach?
where it's
Oh,
just like you're
God.
sloshy.
No,
sloshy
you need
and
something
full.
like a pizza or
Yeah,
burger on a
that's-
beer
Yeah.
tummy.
Soak that shit
Yeah,
up.
you don't want raw fish on a beer tummy. Gross.
However, both of us being in our 30s, I'm not about to play nanny.
Well, that's
Truth.
Amen.
Also
You
that.
know what I mean? You're like,
Really?
maybe she can do 6 beers. You know, I'm not about
I don't
to.
know your
I'm-
life.
I don't know your business, Sharon. We get to the restaurant and I can tell she's visibly intoxicated. She's wobbling a little.
I hate that.
And her speech
I don't
isn't
like that.
slurred, but it's very carefully measured.
I have
Oh,
to
no.
say, like, I would be so mortified the anxiety that I would have the next day,
forget it.
Knowing that I behaved that way on a date, I would just dissolve
somebody that
into
you
the
like
floor.
that you've been seeing for 2 months.
No, I mean, no.
Yeah. So her speech isn't slurred. It's very carefully measured, as if a drunk person is aware that they would slur if they didn't control it.
She knows, and that is the worst.
Dinner was very good. The conversation was okay. So far, not a bad date. Halfway through dinner, she says she's not feeling well.
I bet.
I say to myself, maybe you shouldn't have chugged a 6-pack before dinner then.
Right.
But being the gentleman, I asked her if I could get her anything or she wanted to just wrap it up and go home. She said no, and we continued. I should tell you now that this is where it begins to get ugly.
Oh, no.
Minutes later, she starts to really complain about not feeling well. It's too fast for food poisoning. She felt 100% before her chug fest. I'm convinced she's drunk and about to throw up. I told her then I thought it would be a good idea if we went home. She insisted on staying and finishing dinner.
You go ahead then. See you later.
Here's anxiety for you.
No.
Then she declares that she has to lie down because she's going to be sick.
No.
I told her to wait there. I'll bring the car around. She refuses and then lies down in the booth in the middle of the restaurant.
Babes, in your 30s? That is 20-year-old behavior.
That is 20s
That
behavior.
is not
Fancy sushi
Dude,
restaurant.
that is so embarrassing.
Yeah, it's
No,
20s.
I'm thinking like Nobu or
No.
something like that. Can you
It better
fucking
fucking not
imagine?
be.
No, boo.
It better
No.
fucking not be. This better be like...
Now now I'm getting annoyed. Instead of asking, now I'm telling her I'm going to get the car and I'm taking you home. She says,
Babysitting somebody
in
like,
public?
no,
at a
and as
in the
fancy
public
restaurant?
as a grown adult, like having to babysit someone
No.
is probably the least attractive thing of all
Absolutely.
time. Like I don't want to have to fucking like don't put me in that position.
And also environment plays a hand too. Like
we're not in my apartment.
Yeah. We're not in my apartment. We're not at a bar. She knew ahead of time. I made reservations at a fancy schmancy place.
Yeah.
So it's like, that behavior
I
is
need you to
not
bring
great
your A game.
anywhere,
Behave
but it's
accordingly.
not.
Yeah.
But I'm also going to need you to bring your A game.
Yes,
Please, ma'am.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
So I said, I'm getting the car and I'm taking you home. She says, no, I'm staying here. If I
You're staying
stand
here
up,
alone.
I'll get sick. Now I've got a cranky 2-year-old on my hands. The restaurant staff is now looking at us, followed by everyone else in the restaurant.
It sucks because like my inclination, same as you, Cass, would be like, okay, well, fucking bye. But I'm like, I don't want to leave the restaurant staff to have to fucking deal with that either.
Right.
So I'm just like, is there any way that we can scoop her into a cab?
And I'm sure her car and her stuff is still at Homeboy's place with it where they came from too. So it's like
Also
the
not
worst.
my problem.
Bye.
Also not my fucking problem. I am a grown-ass adult. I'm sorry that you're not.
The waitress tiptoes over and asks us if everything's okay.
No, it is not okay, ma'am.
No.
Help.
SOS.
I assured them that she just wasn't feeling well and we would be leaving shortly. I tell my date in a sterner tone that you can't just lie down in a restaurant and that I will help her to the car.
Why am I having
so
to
she
tell
can
you this?
Lie down at my house in a bed like an adult. She again refuses to move and I contemplate leaving her there.
Yep.
I got up, paid the bill, apologized profusely, and left a gigantic tip.
Yep.
I know. I went back to her and through clenched teeth told her, I'm getting the car, bringing it around, and we are in no uncertain terms leaving. I brought the car to the front and because I'm still not a complete savage, gently lifted her off the restaurant booth, walked her to the car, sat her down and seatbelted her in.
Do you know how quickly I would stop drinking the next day? Like if this happened to me and
somebody
I would be like, you know what? I think maybe alcohol is not for me anymore. I would be so embarrassed.
Yeah.
Wow.
I got her back to the house, put her to bed, and went downstairs to watch TV. In about 20 minutes, I hear it.
Yep.
guttural, heaving sounds coming in waves.
No.
I know what it is, and I don't want to see it.
Do you leave a bucket in there?
No.
Because I can tell.
You always have to leave a bucket.
Right.
You
leave the salad bowl.
This guy's
the
in
big
his
one.
fucking 30s. He should know.
We're not an advice podcast, but everybody write that one down. You always leave a bucket.
Or the salad bowl.
Yes, you gotta do it.
Like the big one. Or if you're my mom, put in that country crock.
Oh yeah. Those butter containers, margarine.
Right.
Yeah,
that's smart because you can just throw that whole thing away.
That's exactly
just
right.
chuck it. Fuck it. Yeah, you don't want to watch it. Yeah, exactly. I can tell she didn't make it to the bathroom. I wait for it to subside, went upstairs, and found her fast asleep with a
not a care in the world.
Stew of regurgitated sushi and Miller Lite all over my bedroom.
I will say, okay, so it wasn't on her; it was on the floor.
Oh yeah, no.
Okay,
just a little bit of both, right?
I thought that it was going to be on her, and I was like, at least I know that I have never
thrown up on myself,
and just fallen asleep. Like I've never woken up with throw up on myself, which God, thank God. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ugh.
No. I cleaned it up, left her to her joyous slumber, and slept on the couch. In the morning, she not only didn't mention it, she didn't even remember anything.
I bet she didn't. Yeah.
Honey.
She was fresh in the morning, leading me to believe that it was just a matter of time before she would be getting smashed again before dinner.
Of course, yeah. She didn't remember, so no consequences.
Puking it up in my room. Needless to say, the courtship didn't last very long after that.
I can't believe it lasted at all after that. That's... Wow.
Yeah, it must be a testament to how pretty she was.
Yeah.
He's like, a couple more times.
Yeah, maybe it was an off night.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't
know. She could have been nervous.
Yeah. Next time we'll take her to fucking like Popeyes
Red Lobster
or something. Yeah.
You're gonna throw up seafood, at least not like top
Swiss
dollars.
chalet.
I love a throwback.
Okay. My profile picture was of me holding my cat, except I photoshopped a Pikachu instead of the cat.
Aww.
This thing was most obviously a bad shop job. I might as well have printed out the original picture, printed out a Pikachu, and taped it over the cat and scanned it. It would have come out looking better.
Graphic designer.
Right.
Special skills.
This girl insisted that Pokemon were real and wanted to know where I got mine. At first it was funny and all because I thought it was a joke.
Silly.
You're so funny.
I Pikachu's you too.
She went back to it once or twice, and I assumed she was awkward in conversation as I was. So she went back to something relatively safe. We go on a date, and she's pretty excited to go back to my place. I think I'm a stud. We walk in, and my cat comes running into the living room so he can turn his back and make sure I'm aware that he's ignoring me.
Yes.
I love it. God, I love it.
Classic cat. I scoop him up and pet him and introduce him to the girl. She then asks where my other pet is.
I swear to God.
No.
Say it again, ma'am.
How old were they?
I don't know.
He's old enough to have
his
an
own
place.
and his own pet that he's taking care of.
How old was she?
Oh, no.
No.
I'm Chris Hansen.
I'm Phoebe Judge.
Yeah,
and this is criminal. Did he let her know Santa's not real either?
Oh, shit.
Don't wait until this bitch hears about the Tooth Fairy.
The Easter Bunny? Yeah. I've mostly forgotten about that Pikachu conversation from the other day, but she hasn't. She was very upset that I wouldn't show her the Pikachu.
Oh my God.
Then I showed her the original picture and the terrible Photoshop. She called me a liar and left.
Ma'am.
You lied to me. I only swiped right because you had a profile picture with a Pikachu.
Was she a robot? With a real Pikachu.
How dare you?
I'm very confused.
I'm just saying, I'm certain that there are people out there who really believe that Pokemon are real. Don't you think?
Wow.
There have to be.
I hope not.
There have to be. With all the wild conspiracy shit that exists,
JFK is still living.
Yeah.
The earth is flat.
Yes.
Like,
what was the guy you went on
you
a date with? Something about dinosaurs?
Oh, no. He, the pyramids were batteries.
Yes.
For spaceships.
Yeah.
Ancient Aliens.
Ancient aliens.
It's one of those batteries that like or chargers that you like put your phone on top of.
Yes.
I
So like the
kind of
UFOs just have to like
that
boop.
actually makes me want to tell you my other story, which is also kind of short.
Oh, go for it.
Can I give you a
Yes.
bonus story?
Yeah, give us
Ooh,
a bonus story.
Okay.
Bonus story.
Oh,
You
no,
get
you're
your
gonna love
own
this.
pack
Mine
of
was
ketchup.
mine was kind of short, so I was like feeling bad about it anyway, and I was like, well, I have this one, but okay. He was late for dinner, then talked about nothing but himself and his degree in business for a solid hour.
Boring.
Couldn't get a word in edgewise. Finally, he asked me what I'm studying, and before I could even finish the sentence, teaching degree in history, he then jumped into a tirade about how teachers are useless and useless and poor, but he loves history. He loved the secret history of ancient aliens.
Oh no.
I had
honey.
ordered the smallest, cheapest thing I could just to end the date
I
quickly.
gotta get out of here. But insulting someone's profession,
Honestly.
not something you should
Not
be
a good
doing.
look. And then-
Negging someone's
then come-
profession on a date,
Then telling me you love history,
and it's ancient aliens.
sir.
I don't know where this comes from, but like it feels like it's been building to a fever pitch, but this rash of anti-intellectualism where
Yeah.
people are like, oh, fuck scientists, doctors, and teachers. It's like,
What the fuck
actually,
Yeah, let's
no,
not.
let's
Let's
not. We
Also,
need
the
them.
fact that teachers don't make money is not the teacher's fault.
No,
That's
we-
exactly right.
They're like, we want to be.
they would
like,
love to make money.
Have
I'm
second
certain.
jobs.
Yeah, like
While we babysit your shitty kids and try
fucking-
to make them
Truly.
Yeah.
like worthwhile adults.
we make $9 an hour trying to
Fuck.
raise the next generation. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
Honestly,
dude,
go
teachers
fuck
have the
yourself.
hardest job. I
So
think,
hard.
honestly, out of all professions out there, I think that would be one I could never do in a million years.
Because
Never.
they work so hard to be, and the like, it's so thankless. Like
Yeah.
they don't get paid the way that
No.
they should get paid. They have
They
to
get
pay for a
shit
lot
from
of their
kids,
shit themselves.
Shit from parents,
Yes.
shit from administrators, shit from the government.
They're trying to keep
Fuck
from
that.
being shot and having their kids shot. Like,
Honestly,
yeah.
for real.
It's true.
And then they have to carry guns in school.
It's
Oh,
Get
yeah.
rid of all the
ridiculous.
books.
Yeah, and also
Yeah,
no books.
No books.
We want
More
we
guns.
want you to teach this subject, but we're going to take away all the books. Good luck.
Here's a
You're an English
couple
teacher?
of
Good luck.
38s. Pew 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 pew.
What in the Sam hell?
I say. Let's talk about arithmetic.
Oh my God, we're off the rails. Oh God.
It's a Friday night. We never record at nighttime.
I had ordered the smallest, cheapest thing I could just to end the date quickly, but his new speech about ancient aliens just killed it for me, so I decided to ghost him. I told the staff to cancel my order, but still tossed them a few dollar tip. He tried to send me a bill for his meal later and
Bitch.
found out a few days later that he left without paying because he, quote, didn't have money.
I love that this man had the fucking audacity to call teachers poor
Yeah.
and to sit there bragging about his business degree, and you forgot
actually-
your fucking wallet.
Actually, Keegan, I have a business degree,
Oh,
so
you just said my name, and something inside
know.
of me just like it flames in my chest.
Was it the
bursting open.
actually?
Oh my god!
No.
She did edit to add that I made a friend that day with the cook who helped me to sneak out the back. And he
married now.
introduced me to a different guy that I dated for a few
There we
months.
go.
That was actually a pretty good guy. And we only broke up because he ended up moving to Brazil. So
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Whew. Oh my goodness. What a roller coaster.
off the rails.
Yeah. I gotta love a Friday night.
Yeah.
Well, you guys want to take 5 and we'll come back with the Tainted Love?
Sounds
Yeah.
good. And we're back. And I have the Tainted Love with you guys tonight. I
love the way you said that. You're like, I have with you guys tonight. We're at a comedy club.
Giving masterpiece theater.
Yeah, right.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I will be presenting to you an episode of Killer Couples that I've watched. I got a little bit of information also from an Oxygen article by Daniel Aguido, as well as a WPDE news release.
Oh wow, you hit us with that WPED.
I'm gonna hear
Amazing.
W.
Yeah, you got to get a W in there. All right.
Yep.
So this is not a funny story.
Okay.
This is not a funny story at all.
Okay. Very serious.
And I'm going to start off pretty serious.
Okay.
There are bits where you're like, say what? There's going to be things to talk about for sure.
Okay.
Okay. First of all, it's March 6, 2015, and in room 1208 of the Landmark Hotel, a housekeeper goes in and discovers that the occupants' belongings are all there.
Mm-hmm.
But they should have checked out and no one is there, just their belongings.
Mm-hmm.
So she radios down and she's like, hey, so I have this room. These people should have checked out. Their stuff's still here. And they're like, oh, it happens. People miss their checkouts. You know, go ahead and just kind of clean up,
but
get it ready for the next.
Stuff's still there. Does that happen often?
They did say, they were like, yeah, it happens. It happens. People miss their checkout.
Yeah. So they're like, yeah, we're just going to keep staying here. And then,
I think they,
okay.
But she was like, they miss their checkout time. It's not that big a deal. Just work around set it up for the next guest, but work around their luggage, basically.
I don't know why in my head I was just like, they were like, oh, they left all their shit there and just left. I was like, I would the way I'd never. Like, I don't care how late I'm running.
Like, actually, I don't even need this shit.
Yeah.
So
I'll buy all new stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been in that income level.
No.
I need my stuff.
Fuck all. Fuck all income level. Yeah. Again, the room was supposed to have been checked out of, but she was like, told, go ahead, clean it up, get it ready for the next guests. But as soon as she starts to clean up, she pulls the duvet, the cover off of the bed, and she notices right away, there's no sheets and there's blood stains on the bed.
Nope.
And she's like, absolutely fucking not.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, the way I would not want to be like a cleaner in a hotel, because I feel like they always stumble upon some shit.
They're the stumblers.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. So she immediately leaves. She's like, absolutely fucking not. That's not on my fucking watch. She goes down and lets management know. Management's like, yeah, we're going to call the
911.
Exactly. 911. And so police show up and they're like, well, on their kind of cursory search, because they're like, this is an occupied room. They kind of do like a kind of cursory, like, yes, there's blood on the bed. Maybe something happened in the middle of the night and they ended up having to go to the hospital. So let's put it on pause.
That is actually a reasonable first thought to think.
Actually really
I literally immediately is like, dead. Murder.
Yeah. You and I both.
Mutilation.
Yeah.
They're dead, of course.
They're both dead.
And they're like, yeah, well, maybe they went to the hotel or maybe they had to head to the hospital. Maybe that's why they're not checked out. Their stuff's still here, whatever. Let's kind of put it
Actually,
put a pin in it.
It makes much sense. It's like they had to rush to the hospital. That's why their stuff is still here.
Still side-eyeing the missing sheet.
The sheet is shady.
I hate that.
Because I'm like, did they wrap themselves in the sheet to go to the hospital? Why is the sheet missing? Is the fitted sheet missing? Nobody takes a fitted sheet.
No. Let's be honest. They were like, what's the part that doesn't make me have to work right now? Probably back.
I'm supposed to be doing other stuff. My shift's about ready to end.
Yeah. They're like, you know what? Next guys are on in about an hour or two. We'll have them pop in and see if they're back yet.
Someone just call up some hospitals and we'll try to stretch this out for a little bit.
No one did call a hospital, by the way.
No.
Not even a
one. You can't throw out that as a possibility and then not even call the fucking hospital.
Actually, like a decent theory and a good place to start.
They didn't even check to see whose room it was at this point.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Bare Men's. We're at Bare Men's. Here's an idea that I had.
What state are we in? Where are we?
This is in Myrtle Beach, Florida.
Of course.
Myrtle Beach, Florida. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they just looked in and were like, that is weird. All right, bye.
Yeah, see you later.
Pretty much.
I got to make it to my kid's softball game.
Much.
They're like, Sarah's pitching today.
So they're like, okay, whatever. They leave. And then they're like, they come back because they get called back. They're like, these people did not show up. So they do another search of the room. And no one is in the room again. They're just like, okay, what happened? So, on this search, they kind of dig a little deeper. They're looking around. They find a shell casing and they notice that there's actually a hole in the mattress. They're like, that's sus.
Multiple hotel employees are now just like, what's going on? And like DNA everywhere.
No, this is the police. The police are back. They secured the room before they left.
All right, they got back from their coffee break.
Yeah,
I get
so
it.
this is later. They've been called back. Nobody showed up, so they came back and they were like, "Okay, we'll do an actual search of the room and dig a little deeper." Fine, and we'll do my job. God, and so. They noticed the hole in the mattress and it looks suspiciously like a bullet hole. They found the shell casing and they start to look under the bed, but it's that kind that are like the wooden boxes.
Yeah.
So they take the mattress off and they take the box spring off.
Oh no.
No.
And they
Horror.
find
No.
2 middle-aged, one male and one female.
The horror.
Could you imagine?
I would have nightmares forever.
The rest of your life. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Awful. Police immediately check with registration. They're like, whose room was this? Who's assigned to? And it was assigned to a Carrie and Steven Turner, and as well as another person. So there was a third person that should have been in the room, a Thomas Daly. They had been there scheduled to be there for 2 nights. They pull the surveillance footage from the night of the check-in, and they see that the couple had indeed arrived with a third male, but there was no information on where this other third person was, right? So detectives start to searching around, what was the car that was assigned to them? Is it in the parking lot? Carrie had used a specific credit card that, was what she used to check into the room. Everything was missing. Wallets are missing. Purses are missing. The car that she checked into the room with was missing. The Kia that they drove there, the silver Kia that should have been in the parking lot, all gone. Everything's gone.
Okay.
And also, there's this missing person. They're like, who is this person they checked in with? Like, what the fuck? So they go around and they start asking some questions of the staff. They're like, okay, what else can we gather from this? So they asked the housekeeper who originally found the room, right? They were like, anything that you remember? Do you remember these people? Have you seen them? Whatever. And she was like, what I do remember is around 10 a.m. when I'd originally gone to the room initially to clean it. She was like, I knocked on the door and somebody said, we're not ready. Come back later. So it was, right away they were like, that's really interesting, because at this point, the coroner had already determined that the Turners had likely been dead at that point. So whoever had responded was more certainly the killer. Yeah.
Oh, that's
very
spooky.
And the desk clerk, when they asked the desk clerk, like, hey, anything suspicious? Like, anything about this room? Anything? Did you know these people? Did you catch them? Whatever. The desk clerk says that at 9:17 that morning, a male and a female had come to the counter and had tried to extend the stay of room 1208. Funny enough, we just did have these guy and this girl come to the desk and ask for the room to be extended.
Okay.
And she was like, the desk clerk was like, I couldn't offer that because they weren't the ones who actually had checked in. So it wasn't like their credit card.
Fucking weird.
Yeah. So they were like, you actually have to, I mean, who knows what they said to try to convince them to do this, but they were like, no, I need
it's my aunt and uncle.
Sure. Whatever.
They asked me to.
Exactly. But they were like, oh no, we need the actual person who's in the room
with the credit card,
with them and their credit card.
Yeah.
To come down and make sure, to do that. We're happy to do it, but I can't do it for you. Great. So they do some surveillance footage of that as well. They see the couple actually leaving the hotel in the Kia that was missing, the silver Kia.
Okay.
So that car. The police find out a little bit more about the couple. It's Carrie and Steven Turner. They're the deceased? They're the deceased.
Okay.
They were from Durham, North Carolina, Durham area of North Carolina. Upper middle class, lovely couple. Everybody who's ever talked about them was just like, they're great. They're local business owners, partially retired. Steven had worked for a local business and he was retired from that job, but they had still owned. They're looking to settle down. Like they're donezos. They're heading out of the working zone.
I gotta be honest. Tell me if I'm wrong. You know me and my space issues, and I like to have my own hotel room.
Yeah.
Sure. I've shared a hotel room with my partner before.
You shared a hotel room with us?
Yes. It's very rare, and I can't think of that many reasons why it would be a couple and some other random dude.
Yeah. I will explain.
Okay.
Trust me, all will come to light.
Okay.
I am burying the lead.
Got it. Okay.
Very, very deeply.
Okay.
To
me, I'm like, as soon as you said that, I was like, put a pin in that.
Me too.
I
actually thought about you. I did. I was just like that.
Three's a crowd in a hotel room.
It is.
Okay.
This is like, I'm not into it. So again, Carrie and Steven from Durham. Local business owners looking to retire. The third occupant's name was Thomas Daly. And nothing is really coming up. So like they're finding a lot of stuff on like Facebook and whatnot about the the Turners, but they're not finding anything about this Thomas Daly. So it's kind of a mystery, right? Yeah. They're like, this is really weird, right? So meanwhile, missing credit card, they're like tracking that. They put a bolo out on this car. They're like all these things that are like, something's going to fucking come up, right? So the police find out that the missing credit card had been used just hours after the bodies had been found. It had been used at a local Walmart not very far away at Surfside Beach. There's surveillance, of course, which they pull up, reveals that it's the couple that had inquired at the hotel, and they were purchasing a large TV. But also in the video was the third male who had gone to the hotel with the Turners, Thomas Daly. So detectives reach out to, again, friends of the Turners. They say they're a lovely couple. Why would they be in Myrtle Beach? Well, everybody that knows them is like, oh man, they're ready to retire. So they've been looking for homes in Myrtle Beach. This is where they are wanting to actually retire to. Like, this is the place they want to move to for their retirement.
It's a lovely, lovely place.
Lovely beach community.
Yes.
Right? So detectives then also find out, who is this Thomas Daly character? Well, Thomas Daly is actually Carrie's brother. So they were like, why has he been living with the Turners? Like, what's going on? It turns out that Thomas is actually very mentally handicapped and has about the mental capacity of about a 5-year-old.
Okay.
Oh.
So he has actually been living with the Turners because once their parents had passed, Carrie and Thomas's parents had passed, they took on the care of him.
Took him in.
Right.
It had been a lot difficult, though. It had been very difficult for the family. Everybody, it was a lot.
It's a massive adjustment.
It's a big adjustment.
Yeah,
You're taking on the care of an adult child in some ways, in some capacities.
Yeah,
like he doesn't want to take care of himself in the way that like other adults would. You can't bathe him, so you have to like coax them into taking care of themselves. It's a lot to navigate.
It'd be very difficult, especially if you haven't been doing it.
That's exactly right.
It,
suddenly be taking on that responsibility. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's a lot to learn. There'd be a lot of education involved with the proper way to do all of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that they didn't love
Of
him
course.
Yeah.
very much. It just exactly is that. It's the adjustment period of trying to navigate
You've lived
this
your
new
life one way for a long time. And like you've had your relationship as a couple one way for a long time.
That's exactly
and
Getting ready to retire and stuff.
And it is a big change to the way your life operates.
Again, it's requiring a lot of hand holding, which is something that's like, again, new tasks, new adventure. But another curious event had happened recently as well at the Turner's residence. Just 6 months prior, the family home had caught fire while the couple was away on a cruise. There was some suspicion that it had been arson, and the Myrtle Beach police reach out to the Durham police and they're like, hey, we know you guys took a look at this house. You thought it was arson. Was there anybody on your radar that you thought may have been good for this, right? Like, who do you think might have been involved? And they were like, actually, we think that it was the Turner's son, Alex. They're like, who dat? So let me tell you. New character enters the building. Alex Turner had for many years been in some trouble, right? He had started taking drugs in high school. He'd been turning to theft. A lot of things have been leading him to, he's not on the right path, basically, right? He had been on parole back home in North Carolina, and he was depending heavily on his parents financially. So his parents were carrying the burden of...
How old is he?
He's an adult. He's 23.
Okay.
And when did this happen? Because also like
time of year?
No, I mean like year. What year?
Oh, what year? 2015.
Okay. So like no one can afford anything anyways, even if he is on a good path.
Doesn't matter.
Like the Carrie and Steven Turner were the last generation that could actually afford a house.
Truly, but let's be honest, only money that he was making, he was putting into drugs.
Right.
Well,
so for him, this was
in fairness, this is someone he's 23 in 2015. He is 2 years younger than me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if could have figured it out.
Yeah.
If you wanted to.
Yeah. And we're not suggesting that he owns his own home by this time, but you could have a job.
Yeah.
You could be taking care of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's shit you could be doing.
Well, yeah. I mean, relying on your, like, knowing that, like, it's a difficult financial landscape, anything, because it means that, like, I graduated high school in 2008. That was when the housing market crash happened and the recession started. So he graduated 2 years after me. So it's not to say that, like, he wasn't in a financially difficult situation and all of that stuff. But there's a difference between, like, being in a difficult spot because of the world that you're in.
That's right.
And
versus
relying
taking
solely
drugs
on your fucking, and relying completely on your parents financially.
Oh my God. My fucking pride would
I
never
could never.
allow me.
I could never.
But listen, at the same time, I'm also, like, have a 26-year-old who lives at home who's been, I mean, truly going to school full time, but, like, also too, like, that's, you know, I understand it's not everybody can. You know, I had a lot lot to get out of my house.
Me too.
It's different for everyone too. Yeah, it is.
Maybe I should start being awful.
No,
Get the fuck out of here! No, I'm just kidding.
My parents were not awful, but I was just ready. Some people are just ready to do that. Like, I'm not ready to have to spread my wings. You know what I mean?
Some comedian, I think it's Joe Coy actually, who talks about how, like, girls, when they leave the house, they fucking
like,
leave.
I'm done.
Fucking
Bye.
Yes.
Bye. I fucking hate you, Mom. Fuck
Never
you.
be back.
Never be back. And
Never
they don't
be
come
back.
back.
And we don't.
And then the boys that last until they're like 30 and you have to kick them out.
Oi,
That's been like,
it's a real thing.
Everybody I know, like,
a real
male
thing.
and female,
It's
like,
true.
females moved out.
It's true.
Sometimes before high school ended because they're like, I can't fucking take this anymore.
Yeah, it's funny. I had a good relationip with my parents. I was just like,
I'm ready to do my thing.
Go.
I want to be in charge of my life. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was so funny because we were talking about this at taxes. I was like, well, 26 is the new 16.
Absolutely fucking not.
No.
I'm joking. All right. Anyway, a quick background check reveals that, you know, all the stuff that he'd gotten, all the trouble he'd gotten into North Carolina, but also revealed that he'd just been arrested a few days before in Surfside Beach for drug paraphernalia and firearms possession. He was found with an AR-15 as well as a 9mm handgun. With him was 19-year-old Chelsea Griffin.
I hate that.
Enter a new character.
Hate that you can just roll around with a
AR-15 in the back of your fucking Honda. Yeah, I mean, like, there's
It's
that. A Kia. I'm so sorry. It is a Kia. I'm sorry.
Hondas are nice cars. So are Kias, actually.
But yeah, so I there's that, but also, like, kids killing parents stories. We've told them on this podcast before several times, and it is always a bummer.
Yeah, it's never good.
Yeah.
So let me tell you a little bit about
Chelsea.
Yes. So Chelsea, first of all, Myrtle Beach detectives are now looking for Chelsea. They want to know a little bit about her. Chelsea Griffin, she grew up in an athletic home. Her mother was a soccer player, star soccer player. She was a star soccer player. She was super into it. Her life was soccer. And that inspired Chelsea because her mom was super into it. So she was too. And as it turned out, she had a knack for it. She played all the way through high school as a keeper. And then she was recruited to a D3 college with a scholarship. So she was, like, doing pretty well for herself. But Chelsea had goals for soccer to be her career. She was like, I'm fucking in it.
So hard.
That's hard.
It is hard.
Yeah.
Especially if you get an injury. Listen, nothing is more debilitating if you are a high achieving individual and you have plans and goals, and then all of a sudden there's, like, a setback, and it's like where you thought your life was going to go because it's all been decided for you at 18, 19 is all of a sudden out the fucking window.
Well, she's only 19 as it is right now, so she is on her way.
Yeah, that's what happened to my dad. You know, he was he had a scholarship for football and then got an injury that he couldn't recover from, and he was, like, top. Like,
that's so bummer, man.
Yeah, and it's just like, can you imagine?
No, it's so bummer,
Your
dude.
whole everything you've worked for.
So she's in a D3 college right now with a scholarship, but she, again, has sights set on the big dreams, right? She was ready to move. So she wants to look for a D1 school. So she finds a D1 school that she's going to transfer to. and it is in South Carolina. So she moves to South Carolina, and this is where she is, she goes, she's ready to start. She's going to, try out for the team. Mm-hmm. The team, by the time she got there, had already been chosen. So she just missed her opportunity. And so now she's like, okay, all right, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take the loss for a year. I'm going to continue to go to school, but I'm going to have to pay for it now. So I'm going to have to find a job. No big deal. I'm going to take this setback. I'll start back up next year when we're ready, right? So she takes a job at the place where she's going to get the most money in town, and that is a gentleman's club.
I was going to say, of course, yeah.
And she starts as a cocktail waitress at a gentleman's club.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I heard cocktail waitress. I also heard bartender. I also heard waitress.
Right, but not dancing.
Yeah, she's not dancing at this point. Not that there's anything wrong with dancing, which, by the way, the
legalized sex work.
I do feel like they really try to be like. And
she
her interview,
they're trying to be like, she wasn't
better.
A dancer. Yes,
yeah, she
exactly.
was better than the other people because she wasn't a dancer. I'm like, fuck you.
They really do frame it. They really
I made more money.
Go out of their way to frame it like that.
You're not better than me.
When you watch shows
TikToks,
like that,
when the dancers or whatever count their money that they make for the weekend, I'm like, God, I fucking wasted my 20s.
Yeah. Whenever they're like the dancers in Vegas, the ones who are working those like real intense, but they earn their shit.
Yeah,
because I'm just like, not only can my body physically not do that, the amount of like bullshit they are putting up with and like is just most disgusting.
The funny thing is that like as somebody who worked as a dancer in a nightclub, I can tell you don't really put up with that much bullshit. You put up with like a little bit, but truly, the people that run those places, man, they do not fuck around, not even a little bit.
I believe that's true, but I also think like these girls are pulling in like tens of thousands of dollars.
Oh yeah, I wasn't
a
pulling
night.
that.
And they're
in Columbus,
in
Ohio.
These clubs in Vegas where it's like high rollers, and I bet you those people get away with a lot more shit.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Truly,
like people who are like spending
true.
a lot of money probably get away with a lot of shit they shouldn't get away with.
My vibe has just always been more fart in jars. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're like removed. You're like, I don't want up close interaction. Like, yeah,
you can have my fart jar.
Yeah, or like you're like
my
under
toenail
your
clipper,
socks,
my socks or something.
There's a girl on TikTok who does like Sock 101, where she'll like teach you how to make money selling your socks.
Oh my God,
and she makes like a hella money.
To be in my youth again.
You could still do that.
Why
can't
CEO,
you do that?
entrepreneur. Yeah, maybe
you could still sell your socks.
There's a market for 40-year-olds.
I still wear socks.
Me too. I'm wearing them right now.
Yeah.
And
for the low cost of $50, you can have them.
You know, that's a dangerous game for us to play because I bet you we could get someone to buy our socks. We got podcast socks. Somebody will buy those.
Listen,
stop it.
Go to myworstdaypodcast.com.
We have a new tab at the top of the website.
Socks. We're so fucking off the rails.
This episode is sponsored by Shopify.
Except that's not what we use at all.
Business.
Oh man.
So sorry. We've got to get back to your story.
Right, sorry.
Okay.
Chelsea started to work as a cocktail waitress, like I said, at the local gentleman's club. She's charismatic, personable. Actually, being a bartender or a server is probably her best outlet to make bank because she's a talker. She loves to talk to people. Mm-hmm. She's very interested in meeting new people. This is like her fucking wheelhouse. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I probably would have made more money that way.
Oh, you are. Yeah, you would be a great bartender.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Oh, so good. This is where she met Alex, a 23-year-old who was in town from Durham, North Carolina. He was in town working a job.
Okay.
He was very vague with Chelsea.
If you meet a man and he tells you he's in town working a job, I'm like, bitch,
I'm like, you're married.
Lying.
Listen, that's the first. I'm like, you're married.
Lying.
Working a job my ass. But she was somehow like immediately drawn to him though. And by the end of the night, they had both gone their separate ways. She did not expect to see him again. But he shows up the next day, and shows up the next day again. And she's like,
with his parents' money.
She was like, he seemed so awesome. And in the show, she talks about like his aquamarine eyes and how, like you just looked into his eyes and it was adventure.
Well, I feel like you have aquamarine eyes, Cassie, and I will say
are they like adventure?
They
do look like adventure.
They do.
Mm-hmm. They are. Anyway, so he comes back. She's like, I'm really smitten with this guy, and she ends up giving him her number. They become closer. They start hanging out a little bit. Alex starts to confide in Chelsea, and he's really like, opening up. and he has secrets and he just can't trust anyone else with. Alex, hold yourself. Alex is an assassin for the Department of Defense.
Oh, so sorry.
As an agent.
Shut your fucking mouth.
Oh no.
He's a real life Jason Bourne, you guys. He's in Myrtle Beach currently on a mission. He enlisted right out of high school to the Army, went on to the Special Force, joined Special Forces. He's had a pretty extensive career for a 23-year-old.
You're 23. No, you
she's
aren't
19.
An assassin.
You are never gonna meet an assassin in real life.
No.
The more you know.
Certainly not. Like, an assassin is not going to be like, hey, I'm an assassin.
I'm 23.
No, they're never going to okay.
And but basically right now he is in North Carolina.
The worst person you ever met is the person you dated when you were 19.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
He's in Myrtle Beach because he is on an assignment. Mm-hmm. And he is fucking struggling right now because he doesn't want to fucking do this anymore. He's having serious second thoughts about his career. It's just too much. He told Chelsea, you know what? It's too much. I want out. He could no longer feel the responsibility of ruining people's families and taking lives.
Another high achieving female ruined
right
by meeting the wrong piece of shit.
God damn it.
Chelsea was desperate to help him. And she's like, you know what? He's like, if I don't do this mission, I have nowhere to fucking live.
Oh,
she's like,
God.
You can live with me.
Of course. I would have made that mistake at 19. I really would have. I would have been like, you can live with me. All people are good at heart.
I am. Oh, the way that hit.
Really? I would have been like,
I didn't know that was.
You're a good person.
Deep down, everyone's a good person. Deep at heart.
Yeah.
At heart.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. She was like, you can live with me. And you know what? I bet I can get you a job at the club. Like, we can start you a new life.
He's in your home and in your work?
No.
We can start you on a new path. I can save you.
Oh, so babes.
But Alex wants her to know that just by telling her this, not only is his family is already at risk. Now her life is at risk.
Then why the fuck do you tell me?
Yeah, exactly.
Why'd you tell me then?
I mean, that's a lot to put on somebody that you've known for less than 3 weeks.
I swear to God.
You know? Chelsea, for her part, is just like, you know, I'm here to help, whatever you need. But Chelsea is, the police, Myrtle Beach detectives are, like I said, they're on the lookout. They're looking for Chelsea because now they have a name. And so they track down where she is attending at Coastal Carolina College, that she's living off campus at the Cove Apartments. They go to the apartment, empty, gone. She's not there. But the Coastal Carolina University police have located the silver Kia belonging to Carrie and Steven Turner at a different apartment complex. So they like link up with the Myrtle Beach police. They're like, this is where they're staying. So Myrtle Beach police go over, they're checking out the scene. They're like, they see them going in and out of the apartment. So like, this is the spot. So they call up the SWAT. They're like, we got to take these guys. A fucking SWAT team goes in and arrests Alex, Chelsea.
I am very confused about what.
And the uncle,
Thomas. I feel like every time I hear a story where a SWAT team comes in, I'm like, right? It's not consistent. I'm like, what does it take to call a SWAT team in? Because I'm not.
Well, it's probably his firearms charge. The fact that he got arrested with an AR-15. Okay. So they're like, we don't want to send a regular cop. I'm guessing it has something to do with the firearms.
Okay, that makes sense. Because I feel like every time we tell a story where SWAT comes in, I'm just like, I feel like we've told other stories where SWAT wasn't called, where they should have been called. Yeah. And then like, I don't know.
Well, they take them all into custody. You know, first of all, the one thing in the show that I thought was very funny is that they were like, Chelsea was like not having it. She was like upset, and they were like, is she the ringleader of this whole thing? Because she was just like, I'm not talking to you. Like, she was just like fucking throwing a fit. She was just like, you can't do this. You don't know us. You have no proof, whatever. She was like, and they were like, wait, what?
She got tricked, conned, bamboozled.
Mm-hmm. Alex is questioned right away, right? So he tells them that his parents had come to town because of the arrest. He had been living there for about 3 or 4 months. He'd been living in Wilmington at a drug rehab and then at a halfway house right before he had met Chelsea. So he obviously was not there. Surprise, guys. He is not
an assassin.
He is not an assassin.
Assassino.
Assassin. He says that when his parents were in town, they went to dinner at the IHOP. That's when they got to meet Chelsea. And during the dinner, they tried to talk him into going back to North Carolina with them.
Oh, these poor parents. I feel like it's such a tough, I can't imagine like your kid being addicted has got to be such an awful position to be in. Because like you want to help them, right? Like, but it's like, how do you help them?
It's got to be incredibly tough.
I think like number 4 on my like list of
fears,
1001 things that must suck or be terrible or hard. As a parent,
about being a parent. Yeah. It's high up there.
It's a really long list, and that is definitely toward the top.
Yeah.
The next day, he's been with his whole family while they looked at real estate because they're like, oh, we're here. Might as well look at some real estate while we're here. Mm-hmm. He decided to stay with them that night. He said that he hung out watching TV, talking, just shooting the shit. He says that he put his gun under his pillow and that he says that he is awoken early in the morning to gunshots going off and that it's his uncle and he had shot them.
Oh, wow.
That's awful.
He says he panics and so he goes to grab Chelsea. He leaves and goes to pick up Chelsea and wake her up and have her come and help him because he doesn't want to lose his uncle now too. Now he just wants to protect his uncle.
Okay.
Yeah. So police were like, that's interesting. Okay. So they talked to his uncle and very quickly determined that there's no way his uncle could have been involved. The uncle doesn't know, he's not cognizant of what's happening. He's just not able to can't even tell them what's going on. So he's definitely ruled out right away. Chelsea, for her part, again, when arrested, was not like willing to cooperate. She is like, fuck y'all.
No, her boyfriend's an assassin.
Yeah. Well, that's right. Her boyfriend's an assassin.
She's waiting for the Department of Justice to swoop in and save them both. Yeah.
Department of Defense will be here any minute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Judi Dench with MI6.
Yeah. She'll clean it up. Don't worry about it. Just keep your lips sealed.
But she's like, I want an attorney. She's like, give me an attorney.
Yeah. Probably she saw a lot of true crime and she's
not
like,
a bad
lawyer up
tactic
immediately.
Either. Yeah.
Smart. Her attorney, though, once her attorney comes, the attorney advises her to tell the police what happened. She's like, I want you to be forthright. You need to tell them your story. So she's like, according to her, she's woken up around 4 or 5 a.m. by Alex, who tells her his parents are dead. He tells her that he'd gone out for a cigarette and a walk on the beach. And when he came back, his parents had been shot. She tells them.
So you can't even keep your story straight?
Well, that's what
Alex,
she told.
If you're gonna tell her that, then tell the police that so that everything matches.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. But because the police know that he's obviously not an assassin.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. So he is like, yeah, that's what happened. And she was like, they could just look at the video footage and just prove that it wasn't you, that you went out and smoked a cigarette. Like that's got to be on film.
Sweetheart.
And he's like, no, it won't be because the people that I work for are pissed and there's no way they're going to set me up and make it look like it was me that did it. She tells them that she believes that they were shot by a secret government agent.
I need to know how many action movies Alex watched.
Too many. That he was here on a mission, that if he completed this mission, he would be released on honorable discharge. However, but because he didn't want to complete this mission, his commanders had turned on him, and because of their high-ranking power, like I said, we're going to frame him for this fucking murder.
This is my impression of the cop that's sitting in the room with her.
The fuck?
The fuck? Yeah, exactly.
Just all eyes. Yeah. What?
Honey.
Oh,
sweetie.
He told her that when he arrived at the room, his commanding officer was standing there over his parents' dead bodies and escaped.
Third story now. We got a third story.
No, this is the same one. This is all part of the same story. His commanding officer was there.
So sorry.
It's the secret agent.
Chelsea.
Yeah, this is Chelsea's story. That he was, there. And that he escaped out the 12th story balcony.
Of course. Do you have those suction cups that you can climb buildings?
I fucking hope so.
Science.
She says that she immediately was like, fine, I will come help you. But she's like, there's no way we're going to get these bodies out of here. So they were like, we have to figure out a way to just hide these bodies because there's nothing we can do. So that's when they decide to hide the bodies where they did. They pack up his uncle's stuff and take them and leave. So police are like, so the story you told us, it's very interesting. And we hate to be the ones to break this to you, but it is very different than the story that we heard from Alex.
Yeah, he knows he can't just come in there all like fucking guns a-blazing about being an assassin.
Of course not. And they were like, she's like, no, of course he's not going to tell you that. You guys just don't know him. And they were like, ma'am, honey, you don't know him. And here is the proof. Here are the 4 pages.
I really feel like this is
of his rap sheet.
A good demonstration of what love does to your brain.
Yeah.
Like
At
the
19
way that
especially?
the way that it like completely fucks up your brain, where like an otherwise smart, like intelligent person,
go-getter,
high achieving,
can believe this.
Yeah.
Like it really, like
those eyes must have been.
Love makes you crazy. It makes you do insane things.
Yes, absolutely. It's and during the episode too, like just to see her beat herself up, because the realization when she sees the rap sheet is like, are you fucking kidding me? I participated in hiding your fucking parents' bodies because I believed this.
That's
you can
so
see
sad.
It's one of the quotes from her was this. She said, I hate myself every time I think about what I did. She said, I didn't pull the trigger. No, but I was too scared to do the right thing.
And her whole life just derailed completely.
Yeah. All of her soccer dreams.
Wow.
Her
charges, though, because of the whole thing, because immediately of her telling them and all this stuff, she said her charges are reduced to accessory after the fact. She takes the Alford plea. Under the Youthful Offender Act, they basically charge her not to exceed 5 years. And then thanks, of course, to her in part because she's 19 at the time, she's still considered a teenager, and her sentence was only 18 months is what she served.
That's still, I couldn't spend 18 minutes in prison, let alone 18 months.
I mean, and again,
at 19,
like getting
changes
through
your life.
Getting through 18 months is one thing,
at 19
but it's
years
like,
old,
it changes everything about your prospects in the future. It derails the path that you were on completely. Like, it's
your whole life is different. Your whole life path. That is so sad.
All because you wanted to believe in this guy.
Yeah. Your own Jason Bourne. Alex himself does end up pleading guilty. He is sentenced to 47 years, and
he killed his parents. Why? For money?
Money, probably.
No one can. Their motive was never actually ever revealed. I think that some people speculate that they were trying to get him to move home, and he didn't want to because he wanted to stay with Chelsea.
Okay, then
he was in trouble.
Fuck off, then you know what I mean? Like then.
But I'm sure if I mean, I was thinking it had to have been money.
Yeah.
If they were both dead, he was thinking maybe that he'd get
an inheritance.
A
estate or whatever.
So shitty.
Or maybe they were threatening to cut him off if he was getting all of his money. Like if they were like, you have to come home or we'll cut you off.
Truly.
Oh, yeah.
Truly. You know?
Yeah. He never did reveal. That was basically the kind of thing in the wind. But
that piece of shit.
No.
Ugh.
Imagine.
That is
makes me
wild
sad. And just parents who like loved their kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They came all the way down to up to Myrtle Beach, which, whatever, probably not that big of a deal, but still they came up there to help him out. He'd been bailed out. He was actually bailed out by Chelsea's parents.
Oh my God. How much are they beating themselves up about that?
So because she got arrested with him, even whether she knew or not that he had guns or whatever he had in the car.
Wow.
But she got arrested with him. So her parents bailed her out and then gave her the money to bail him out.
Oh my goodness.
Awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
Yeah.
Oof.
Wow. No, that is always terrifying to me. It's just like, anyone ever tells you a wild story like that?
Yeah.
Tell someone else.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I would tell it to one of you two, and you guys would be like, "Bitch,
that was the thing.
Shut up."
Well, that was one of the. It was so funny because one of the things that she said, she was like, first of all, she's 19. Okay, so you got to be thinking with your 19-year-old brain.
And
but
she
second
just
of all,
moved to a new college.
New college. She's like, she was like, eyes, and she was like, shit, if my life's in danger, anybody I tell, their life is now in danger too.
I don't care. I would call my mom.
I think I would too.
I'd be like, T-Con.
I actually would too.
I wouldn't.
First call would be my mama. I'd be like,
yeah.
I met this guy, but he may or may not be an assassin.
Assassin.
I love my mom, but she'd be like,
honey,
really?
I know. Your mom is not the one to call. You call my mom.
See, that's why I wouldn't call my mom, because I didn't want her spoiling my dreams. I'd be like, he's an assassin. No, he's not. But mommy said he is.
But I feel like my mom would fall in the middle. Like, Christina, your mom would be like, oh, how exciting. Cassie, your mom would be like, fuck off. And then my mom would be like, well, that's interesting. Maybe we should think about we'll talk about it.
Let's explore this.
Let's talk about it a little bit more.
Yeah, but like here's the other thing too. Like 2015 is like the internet.
Yeah.
Like a quick Google search could probably pull up some of those mug shots, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what are you going to Google an assassin?
I mean, I'm going to Google a guy I'm interested in. Absolutely.
100%.
On Beyonce's internet, I'm typing in Alex assassin and seeing what comes up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Just see.
Yeah, scroll through those first couple pages of Google image results,
Exactly.
See what you see.
Oh my gosh. Well, what are you guys watching this week?
Well, speaking of AI, I did watch Megan.
Oh, how is it?
Hilarious.
Excellent.
I have to say.
It's jump scares, though. I want to see it, but it looks jump scary.
It's silly. I don't think you would have too much of a problem. I mean, there are some jump scares because it's that kind of thing, but it's very silly. But I'm kind of cool with being in the era of just like campy, silly.
Because I watched Cocaine Bear.
Oh yes. I think it's the same vibe. Like I think it's like that kind of just like, this is ridiculous, right? But it's entertaining.
Wild. I laughed so hard. I
peed
myself a little bit. It was so stupid. It was so fucking stupid that I was dying.
I want to see it because that's what I hear. I hear that it's so funny. I'm gonna watch it.
So funny.
Okay.
It's so stupid.
Did you watch it at the theater?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. I want to watch it.
Oh, my God. This is so fun. And definitely recommend.
I definitely want to see that. It's so funny because I'm like, I know the story and it's not, I'm like, how in the fuck do you make a whole movie out of this?
If you make it campy enough, then it works for me. Like that's
knowing
the thing is it needs to be deliberate camp for me to be like,
100% says it's based on a true story. And it's like, literally the only thing that they kept from Cocaine Bear story is there was a bear
in the woods
that found some cocaine.
That found cocaine. Yeah. The rest of it is like
a fucking ride.
Stoked.
Ray Liotta's last role is this movie, and it's just chef's kiss.
I can't wait. I will watch that. Amazing.
Brilliant. I have, because I'm in French class right now, I have been watching a French show. I'm watching Candace Renoir, which is a show that I've watched before. It's just the new season came out, and I'm like, perfect timing to like listen to French dialogue.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
very
nice.
Cool.
I like the show. Honestly, you guys would like the show regardless if you enjoy.
You know what I love? I don't mind a good subtitle.
I also really like listening to people speak French.
Oh, there you go.
It's a very beautiful language.
I like listening to people speak almost anything.
Yeah.
Like when I watch any show, like I watched Dark, which was all in German, and I was like, I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Maybe not Welsh. I'm just kidding.
Well,
what was the show that I just watched a show that was like all in Welsh, and I was like, wow, that is very, I can't imagine having to learn that.
It's
that seems very difficult.
Heavy. Yeah. It's a lot.
You know what? I just thought of like what computers must look like.
What?
They're keyboards.
So funny. So my son builds
Right?
keyboards for Twitch because that's his thing that he does. And he just got a keyboard with Hebrew letters. And I'm like, it's so funny. Like you don't think about these things.
I wouldn't have thought about it.
I do. I think of random like weird stuff like that. I'm like, oh, I wonder where they put the double L's and stuff like that. Yeah.
Interesting.
Anyways, if you have something that we should watch, if you want to take a picture of your different keyboard, or if you just
would love to see it.
Would love to.
Yeah.
We're actually fascinating.
Yeah.
Go to our one-stop shop of website. It's myworstdatepodcast.com. And we love you so much. Cheers.
This is a Glass Box Media Podcast.